welcome back to my channel. So today I am going to be doing 3 different looks with the new Kat Von D palette, the Saint and Sinner palette. Also, I wanted to mention, if you guys watched my last video, it was the eyelash tutorial. I realized after I watched it that my eyelashes looked so awful the whole entire time, and it's because I was trying new lashes, so like half of them were like coming off, and it was an eyelash tutorial. It was the eyelashes I was wearing before I put the new eyelashes on. Anyways, I just wanted to apologize for that. I contemplated taking it down and filming a new one. If you guys want me to do that, I totally will. But I was just putting a little disclaimer out there that that's what happened. Anyways, let's go ahead and get into the tutorials. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to take this color Ashes, and with my Morphe R37, I am just going to buff that into the transition area of my eye. That is right in between my crease and my brow, and I'm going to kind of bring it down onto my outer corner and into my crease, but kind of keep it up higher. Then I'm going to take this color Exodus, and with this flat shader brush from MAC, I am going to pat that all over my lid. And I'm going to use these patting motions so it can really just get the maximum amount of pigment on my eye. Then I'm going to go and take Revelation, and on this Bare Minerals brush, the fluffy side, I am just going to buff that on my outer corner at first, and then I'm going to slowly move it into my crease. Then I'm going to take just a fluffy brush, and I am going to just buff out any of those harsh lines. This brush is from Morphe as well. I'm going to take the color Absolution. This is a topper shade, and I'm going to pop that on top of the green color. And I actually was kind of disappointed with this. I thought it was going to make it more shimmery, give it more of a pop, but it didn't. So I'm going to go ahead and take that Exodus color again and pat that on my lid so I can really just accentuate that beautiful green chartreuse color. I'm going in again and blending in any harsh lines. I'm going to go back in with Ashes, and with a pencil brush, I'm going to put that onto my lower lash line. I'm then going to take that Revelation, and on the outer thirds, I'm going to pack that on and blend it out with the pencil brush. I'm going to put a little bit of that bright green on my lower lash line as well, and I'm going to put this translucent powder in this area to clean up any mess. I'm going to pop that Absolution shade on my brow bone along with a Men, and again in my inner corner to kind of brighten up my eyes, and because I want this to be smoky, but I don't want it to make me look too tired. Again, blending out any harsh lines. And I'm going to take this Tarte Lights Camera Lashes eyeliner, and I'm going to create a wing. I'm going to take my flat definer brush from Morphe, and I'm going to take the color Sabbath, and I am going to apply that over top of my black eyeliner to dull out any wiggles or anything that I might have made. I put some of that black color on my lower lash line, and this is the first finished look. I hope you guys like it. On to the next look. I'm going to take Sacred Heart, and again on that R37, this big fluffy brush, I'm going to put that in my transition area. Again, that is just right above my crease and slightly into my crease, but not deep down. It's going to be the highest color besides your brow bone highlight. So I really This is a shimmery shade, but it worked really well for a transition shade. This palette doesn't have a lot of transition shades, so I just had to work with what I had, and this worked out. I'm going to use those back and forth windshield wiper motions, and I'm just going to really build up this color. It was going on pretty sheer at first, and I just want to make sure it pops. I'm going to take Rosary, and I'm going to take that on the same brush, and I'm just going to put that slightly lower than the first color, but on top of it, so we can get a nice blended, blown out look. And I'm just going to do windshield wiper motions in my crease and then move it down onto the outer corner of my eye. I'm then going to take Worship. It's this beautiful eggplant purple color. And on a more tapered blending brush, I am going to just pop that right into my outer corner. I'm going to make sure to put the most pigment on the outer corner, and then I'm going to slowly kind of blend it downwards and into my crease. Again, going to take some translucent powder on my Real Techniques sponge and clean up any mess I made. So I have a sharp line right there, but not too sharp. This makes it look pretty blended. I'm going to take this as my favorite shade, Heaven. I'm going to pop this on my lid with my finger. I thought my finger would be a good way to really pack on that pigment, but I wanted it a little bit higher up, so I went in with my brush and applied it that way so I could get it more into my crease, so it would look more kind of like a cut crease, but not as intense. Then I'm going to go ahead and with my R37 brush again, I'm going to just blend out any harsh lines like I always do. It's all about blending. I'm going to spray this with some Fix Plus, and I'm going to try again this Absolution shade, and I'm going to pop that onto the center of my lid, and this actually did work a little bit better with this look. It did make it a little more intense, but I ended up putting more of that Heaven on with some Fix Plus as well, and I focused that onto the outer corner of my eye, and I focused the Absolution kind of more into the inner part of my eye. So here I'm going in with the Absolution and putting that onto the inner corner of my eye, so it's going to be bright and light, and then a little darker, but not too dark. I'm going to go back in with Worship and just darken up my outer corner. I like to layer my shadows so that they really look blended and seamless, because sometimes you tend to lose some of the pigment when you blend, but I want my shadows to look blended, but also to have the color pay off. I'm going to buff that Sacred Heart color onto my lower lash line, and then I'm going to go ahead and go in with Rosary and buff that into my lower lash line onto the outer half, I would guess, of my lash line, and then slowly working it into the inward. I'm going to take this Too Faced I Want Candy liner. It's the Black Licorice liquid liner, and I'm going to go ahead and create a wing with that. I'm going to take this brush from Morphe, and I'm going to just dust off any of that powder that is left over underneath my eye, and it will just give me that soft blended look, but it's not a mess underneath my eye. I'm going to take Baptism, and I'm going to pop that onto my brow bone, and it was a lot more pigmented and intense than I was expecting it to be, but that's not a bad thing. So yes, I'm going to pop that onto my brow bone and blend again, so no harsh lines. Blend, blend, blend. You guys, I actually cut out a lot of blending. I blend for days. I'm going to take this Heaven shade, and I'm going to pop that into my inner corner because there's no bright highlight shades, and I wanted the inner corner of my eye to be bright and highlighted. So I'm going to layer Heaven with Absolution onto my inner corner. And this is the second look. This is probably my favorite look that I have done so far with this palette. I just really love how it turned out. Third look, I'm going to take Martyr on that same R37 brush, and I'm going to buff that into my transition shade. Can you guys see a little pattern here? How I do my makeup. Transition shade, and then I'm going to go into this bright orange color called Devil, and I'm going to kind of pop that right on top of Martyr to kind of make it look more like fire. And I wasn't expecting this to be as pigmented as it was, and it got a little bit too high up onto my brow bone, but I will fix that, and you'll see in just a minute how I do that. I'm going to go ahead and take this color Vestment. It's like a green with like a brown shift. It's so pretty. And I'm going to pop that on with my finger, and this swatched so beautifully, but it was kind of hard to work with. I was really surprised. So I actually had to go back in with a brush again and really try and pack on that pigment, but it just wasn't like going on as smooth and blended as I wanted it to. I don't know why, because all the other shadows were doing pretty good. I'm going to take that Amen shade and on this tiny little brush kind of fix or buff out any of those shades that got too high, those orangey shades, and then just blend it out with my brush. I'm going to spray my flat shader brush with some Fix Plus to kind of try and get more pigment out of this eyeshadow, and that did help. So it made it look more metallic as well. So I did like how it turned out with the Fix Plus on the brush. So I'm just going to go ahead and apply that all over to my lid. Spray it again, and I'm going to take that Absolution shade. I'm just really wanting this to work for me, you guys. I'm just going to pop that onto the inner corner of my lid. And this actually did kind of change the finish of this eyeshadow. I did kind of like what it did with this one, but I was still kind of disappointed with this Absolution shade, these topper shades. I didn't use the Rapture shade yet, but I really had high hopes for this Absolution shade, that it would kind of give a cool shimmer to each shadow. So I'm going to take this dark chocolatey color Crucifix, and I'm just going to put that in my outer corner and slowly work it into the crease with this Morphe 506. I love this little brush. It's like a teeny tiny blending brush. Then I'm going to go in with this highlight color. I wanted a shimmery highlight, and Kat Von D palette just didn't have it, so I went in with one of those shades out of the Jaclyn Hill palette. I'm going to take the color Martyr, and I'm going to buff that onto my lower lash line with a pencil brush. And I'm going to go ahead and take Crucifix, and I am going to buff that into my lower lash line as well. I applied liquid liner, you know the drill. Okay, so after using this palette for 3 days, I filmed these on 3 separate days. I think that the mattes actually are really pretty and really easy to work with. Some of the shimmers, like the eyeshadow I am wearing today, was a little bit hard to work with, and these topper shades, I didn't use the Rapture one. My kids kind of dug into that one, but I didn't use that one. But like this topper shade, I'm not sure that it did all that much. I would have liked to have like maybe a shimmery shade to use as a inner corner or brow highlight, or maybe some more matte transition shades instead of that white topper shade. That being said, I do think it's a really pretty palette. I have been able to create some wearable looks, but also use the fun bright colors. So I love this because it's helped me be creative and go outside of my box, like I said in my review and swatch video of this, which I will link up above so you can watch that. In all three of my looks, I wanted to let you guys know that I did the exact same blush, bronzer, and highlight so that you would get a real idea of just how the eyeshadows look. So I used a pretty basic blush. I used this light, I don't even know how to explain it, but it reminds me kind of like of Warm Soul from MAC. I used that blush, my Laguna bronzer, and my Fenty Beauty highlighter, the lighter shade, which is Fire Crystal. So that is what I did in all three of the different looks that I created. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you guys recreate any of these looks, if you end up buying this palette, please let me know, and please send me a picture of it or something. I would love that. Or you can hashtag me in your Instagram post or tag me in your Instagram post, because I would love to see how you recreated these looks, or if you have some fun look that you created and you want to share it with me, please tag me, because I would love to recreate your look too. Thank you guys so much for watching. Always remember that it's okay to be confident, it's okay to be real, and you are beautiful. See ya.